Alright, good morning. So, today I wanted to talk a little bit about one of my worst experiences that I had where I got screwed on a job. My name is out there. A lot of realtors use me, and so I get realtors from time to time that will give me a call. I don't know who they are. They got my information somehow. But usually it's a pretty close-knit group that I can figure out who gave them my information, and those people are pretty trusted. One day I got a call from a realtor and said that he was closing on a house the following day, but there were some inspection issues that needed to get taken care of. Just little things. The shower head was loose, so it needed to be secured in the wall. A shower valve needed to be replaced, and then I think there were some baseboard touch-ups that were on the Binzer request to have repaired. So I was like, okay, that's not bad. That'll be pretty easy. So he gives me all the info, gives me the lockbox key and code, and I go out there, I do the job, and it was at the end of the day. And remember, they're closing on the house the next morning. So I finish everything up and give him a call, and he's like, okay, great. And mind you, I have only had contact with him. I've never spoken to the current owner of the house or the new buyer. None. It was just him that I was in communication with, and he told me that he was taking care of everything. So the next morning, I asked who to send the invoice over to so I can get paid. And he's like, oh yeah, let me give you the current owner, not the new buyer, but the current owner's phone number, and I will, and they'll take care of you. So I gave the current owner a call, and lo and behold, she did not approve any of those fixes. So I was a little taken back because I would assume that their realtor would have been in communication about fixes that were required to be done. And so she had no clue, so she called her realtor and said, or had a talk with him, and she said she wasn't going to pay for those fixes that needed to be done, but because she didn't know about it, she's not paying. So I find out this information from her that she's not going to pay and that the realtor was supposed to pay. And so that's what she told me. So I gave the realtor a call again, and he's like, no, sorry, I'm not paying. It was the owner that was going to pay the whole time. And I just started getting the runaround. And so I'm getting a little frustrated. And mind you, I've got a pretty good sense when people are sketchy. And so I haven't had very many people mess me over. And luckily enough, this wasn't a huge job. It was like $400. And so I know the realtor's info, so I call his broker. I call his boss and told him the situation. And apparently he doesn't know anything about it either, but automatically he sticks up for his guy without knowing any of the details. And I'm very cordial. I don't get upset very often, and I don't yell. But it was really frustrating when I performed a service, I did a good job, and this needed to be done for the house to close. And so I basically at a loss at this point, because everyone's pointing fingers at everyone else, saying it's they're the ones that are paying, and they're the ones that are going to take care of it. So long story short, I get back a hold of the current owner of the house, the one that I did the work for when the house was owned before the sale, and she eventually says that she'll pay for the work. Mind you, this house probably sold for $900,000, so not a cheap house. It's a $400 bill. Like, I don't understand how you think messing someone over for $400 is a good idea when you just are selling your house for $900,000. And so she told me that she was going to pay, finally. She gave me her email address, and I sent her the invoice. It's nice and I always use QuickBooks, so you can pay right there through the app and through the invoice, and it makes it simple. A couple days go by, still nothing. And I text her, and no response. And this goes on for probably 3-4 weeks. I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous. I'm spending way too much energy on this issue to make it even worth it now. And so for the next 6 months, when I was in my QuickBooks app sending invoices and just doing work, I would randomly just send a reminder that it was still due, and it would get looked at. I could see when they opened it, but she never paid, and I left it at that. So, word of the wise: get some understanding of who's paying the bill when you're working with realtors, whether it's the homeowner or the realtor or the new owner. Or sometimes I get paid at escrow, so I have to wait until the deal closes, and I only do that for very trusted realtors, partners that I have. So that's the moral of the story: is know who you're working for and know who's paying you, and it'll help you out, and hopefully you don't have to go through something like I went through. All right, enjoy your day.